Hey, beloveds, we're back again here at Self Discovery. I'm your host, Dr. Mojisola Edu, and I'm here with the amazing, lovely Precious L. Williams, and we're going to be talking about her self discovery, what brought her to be the amazing individual she is today. Talk about how she take care of herself, and also some of the different things that she faced becoming who she is, and how she, as a leader, will give you some tricks and tips on how do you manage your leadership and also your stress dealing with work and just trying to just manage people, because we're in the business of dealing with people, right? So before we get into it, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about Miss Precious. So Precious L. Williams is a CEO of Pitch Perfect Group, and AKA hashtag Killer Pitch Master.
Come on now.
Precious L. Williams is the proud founder of CEO of Pitch Perfect Group and is a 13-time national elevator pitch champion, 5-time number one best-selling author, and international professional speaker. Besides training entrepreneurs, business leaders, and professionals, she is also a top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer, teaching them how to take their sales, media, and elevator pitches to trash to cash. Having successfully appeared on Shark Tank Season 8 in 2006, Precious is a world-class speaker for global brands including BMW, Google, LinkedIn, Microsoft, Blackstone, Verizon, SiriusXM, HubSpot, CoNest, Harvard University, Columbia University, Spelman College, QuickBooks, Yelp, and many more. As a sought-after global speaker, she is also hired to keynote international conferences, summits, and events. And recently, she was just at Essence, or yes, getting it in, yes, having a launch. And in 2024, Precious received so many amazing awards. Badass Woman of Her Story, March 2024. Spectrum Circle Award for Innovative Women in Small Business, May 2024. Business Connect Business Leader of the Year Award 2024. NABU National Top 3 Finalists for Women Business Owners of the Year 2024. Okay, and she will tell you, pitch please, okay, because it's not a game. Oh
no!
I'm so. First of all, I want to say I'm honored, and I am. It's so much of a pleasure to interview you today, because when we connected, I said, "I see you, you see me."
You know what it is.
You already know what it is, and you are a divine spirit, just a lovely person, and you light up the room just with your presence and your light. You are a blessing to so many people, and I'm so grateful and honored to be in community with you, Queen.
The feeling is mutual, and I got to look back at Big Precious because I'm her baby. She listening like, okay, we have to check little Precious now. So, yes, thank you so much for saying that. And the feeling was mutual. I remember being at the Spectrum Circle Awards and standing up when they called your name to take your pictures, and it was just like from that moment on, it was like, girl, you know what it is. We locked in. We are so locked in.
Yes, and big shout out to Karen Alston, actually, for that connection, us meeting there at Spectrum Circle. And
she's a great connector. Yes. And who knew that we knew there great things would come out of that, but even that award ceremony, getting up there to do my awards acceptance speech and not really knowing what I was going to say until I stood in that circle and looked out at the audience, and I knew exactly what I was going to say. Other than just thank you.
No, honestly, after that, everybody had to drop the mic, because honestly, Precious killed it. And it was true and authentic. Mm-hmm. And it brought me to tears, just, her story, her journey, what she went through to become who she was. I felt even more closer to her. I didn't know Precious, and we didn't know each other at that time. But when we connected, I didn't even know anything. She didn't know what I did either. We didn't know anything about each other. But we sat next to each other, and we just felt, and you know what? I was there by myself, okay? And Precious stood up and said, come on, her and her best friend, they said, come on, sit over here, girl.
And shout out to Nicole Nixon.
Yeah, Nicole.
She would show up for everything. And I just got to
Yes.
thank her because we were just bringing you into our circle. Like, girl,
Yes.
you're not alone. We're not playing that game.
Yeah. Shout out to Nicole. They brought me in a circle and they took pictures of me and everything. And they were just so sweet. So I want to say once again, I'm grateful to both of you. Seriously.
And we're grateful to you. And again, Karen Austin, thank you because we
Yes.
got to come back for NABO for
Yes.
their gala, the top 3 finals for Women Business Owner of the Year. And Queen, remember we went to dinner and invited 2 more queens. It was supposed to be just the 2 of us, and then I invited 2 more queens. And we had such an amazing, because you just got to understand that was divine, unexpected blessings.
Amen.
We all needed to be around each other, to
Amen.
eat that good food, to carry on in that restaurant, to bring life and energy. And so you talk about this journey to self-discovery. It is serious. Like, I feel like I'm discovering so much about myself at 45 and the things that I've had to let go of. In fact, I posted a picture yesterday from my boudoir photo shoot. And I can tell you every picture that this Queen Nicole Griffin took, I know exactly what I was thinking in that moment. And I wanted to take that photo shoot to, this is 45. I'm celebrating. I'm never going to be 23 or 33 or 43. And I'm going to, in this space and in this place, I feel beautiful. I feel beautiful because I knew there was a model in me. I knew that there was something in me that I had kind of forgotten about. I forgot how beautiful life can be when you are on your divine assignment and it doesn't have to look like what everybody else has. I've gotten comfortable with what you see in me in makeup or without. What a sight to behold, because the inner me is coming out. So if you see me without makeup, it's not trying to, just bucket defy the system. It's regardless to all the accoutrement. I don't need it because I'm precious. My name is precious. I'm named after the greatest who have ever done it, Grandma. And it is a treat with or without makeup, with or without designer labels, with or without anything. When I was stripped of everything, what did I have? A voice. And I used it to get all the way to the top. So this journey to self-discovery in being stripped of everything. And what do you do after the stripping? After, let's say you lose every dollar and cent, you lose self-respect. People are hating on you. And in many ways, you might have deserved it, but having that on you, and where do you go from there? And you look up to heavens where your help flows, and just get it together and understand that, like David and Goliath. That's why I love Nicki Minaj's song "Moment for Life," because I slay Goliath with a sling, and my slingshot was pitching. It is not the things you think you need to have. I didn't have to have the celebrity friends and all of that. And if you're going to be in business, if you're going to put yourself out there, if you're going to open yourself up for criticism, love, and all that kind of stuff, I pray that we understand that they didn't make you so they can't truly break you. So go back to where your help is. And when I think about you, Queen, I think about all the kings and queens who opened doors that people said would never open. And it wasn't because I had the flyest outfit. It wasn't because my makeup was fly, baby. I was wearing dollar store makeup. I mean, we talk about it. To being here today and saying, this is my face. Hated or love it. The underdog's on top.
Hey!
Yeah.
Woo!
Come on with it. Come on with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Hey! That's why I love you. I love you.
Shoot, I'm not gonna play with y'all. Shoot.
Don't play. Don't play with the
Don't play
queen.
with it.
Don't play with it.
Because I've been telling you, you don't know what it's like. Oh, really? Because eating out of garbage cans, I do. I do meat oodles and noodles, which was cheaper than ramen noodles. Don't play with me.
Exactly. The
if real. Back
real.
to that again, I'll go back and listen, bounce back harder.
Exactly. And that transitions into this affirmation we're going to pull, because that was.
Come on, pull that affirmation.
We're going to pull an affirmation. And them words, I got chills.
Play with it.
This one says, I am a light worker in disguise. I don't have to talk about it. I just gotta be it. How does that resonate for you?
It resonates for me. I remember these women were doing this. I forgot what the name of it's called, but they all thought I was a manifesting generator. It turns out I'm a projector. So most of my life, I've been operating in the wrong space of having to make things happen. And when the first queen did this mapping, I didn't believe. I was like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. When the second and third queen did it, and it still popped up projector, they explained more what it is that your light attracts. So when you operate out of alignment, it's this constant, I got to make things happen, to going to, if I'm not invited, I don't come, period. And what I'm invited to, I still don't have to say yes, but my light attracts great opportunities. And when I started to, maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago, start to operate in that realm, I didn't just go just to go. I don't show up just to show up. But I also learned that as a projector, I don't have to announce myself. My presence will announce me, whether I open my mouth or not. And so I don't have to talk about being the killer pitch master anymore. The world knows. The world knows. My successes, I don't have to announce. Now, if I'm doing a training or something like that, sometimes you got to let people know what time it is, because sometimes my skin color can mask the education or the training and experience that I have. And there will be people who will place labels on you. Like you, I don't walk down the street, people's like, there goes a great former attorney. There goes a great debater. There goes a successful serial. That's not what this usually can show to people. It's usually, oh, you have children. What high school did you graduate from? I'm like, baby, we did college, law school, and more. So, but okay. How many children do you have? I don't have any. Yeah, right. I said, I don't know too many women who do not children, but okay. And as a projector, knowing when it was time to leave, right? So when I moved last November and moved into my dream space, you just hear the washing machine, that dryer machine. I don't know why I put that in the dryer. I was wrong for that. But I'm in air conditioning, Queen. Do you know? I mean, I know you don't like to be an air conditioner. I'm in my own crib with air conditioning, and I'm not worried about what the bill gonna look like. Because we can talk about the times when there was no air conditioning, there was nothing, there was no direct sunlight, there was nothing. That's not how I live today. The fact that I am decorating my own space the way I want to finally feels good. That I can walk out on that balcony and act up. I going from nothing to something and rock bottom to the top. What? 2 or 3 times in the same lifetime? A projector. So when you operate in the right place, you'd be amazed at what happens. Like you can, I'm sure this happened to you. You look in your inbox, and you're just going through your normal stuff, and you'll see opportunity. Be like, yo, I didn't even ask. I didn't even say nothing. I didn't even know it was I don't even know it was available. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know it was available. So think about that. It comes because of the network, my network. It comes because of the love and support that I throw out in the world. And it also comes because karma's real.
And that's true. I mean, you've planted so many beautiful seeds out in the world. Definitely deserve all the blessings because of your beautiful light. And like you said, when you are in alignment and you don't have to really be in control. You can just allow, because like the alchemist says, sometimes the world is conspiring for you to win. Yes. if we allow. So I love it. I love that you're in alignment, and you like, my essence is just showing up. I don't even have to say anything, but sometimes, wow, you gotta let them know.
So you gotta let them know, because they might forget, and they might be putting you in situations that you're like, nope, that doesn't that don't feel right for me.
Exactly. How do you, when you talk about those spaces, especially as us as women of color, how is it, how do you approach like situations like when you have switched from like when you switched from a different arena of where you used to, okay, of where you used to be. And you know where I'm going, right? And you're trying to trying to step here and let the people know, like, this is who I am now. But so many people are stuck in the old version or layers that they want to pick of you. And how do you go about letting them know, like, no, this is who I am. This is where I'm moving towards. Go ahead and drop it for them and let them know.
First
Queen.
of all, like, that is, I still think that's part of becoming, right? Because it has to first come to you before it comes to others. And so over the last few years, I've implemented plot twist, flipping the script, and, being known as a killer pitch master. Listen, I had to be known for something, and it's not bad to be known as a killer pitch master, slaying all competition with a killer pitch. But what happens when there's other things I want to be known for, too? So even with being a killer pitch master, people only thought I was great for pitching. They didn't understand sales, business development, client acquisition. They didn't understand that I had a formula for that. They're just like, oh, it's your personality that you sell. It's like, actually, to you, it may seem like that. And if that's what's rocking, you really want to believe all I sell is a personality, great. I don't know too many 327-pound Black women that can sell a personality that's not based in entertainment or sports. That part. Second, I used to be in relationships where I was afraid to open my mouth and say how I really felt because I didn't think I was worthy of anything. And so when I left my last one after a big event, live event we did in Brooklyn, as scary as it was like, I can't live under these situations. And you've gotten used to thinking that I have no options. So I got used to thinking I have no options. I got options, even if I got to find a way or make one. Hashtag Clark Atlanta University. So in that time, what was I going to do over the next series of my life? I was going to work on my business, but also going to work on myself. And whether people saw it initially, they didn't. They still only thought I could do one thing, but I had to keep pressing the issue. And so when people came to me on exposure, we want you to speak for this, and we don't have a budget or whatever, depending on where I am in my life, or if I have room to do a free or gratis thing, that's my choice, not yours. And there are people you would never do that with. So let me make sure you understand the value of what I do. And when I say no, accept it. Period.
That part.
Don't allow my past to make you think I got to accept everything that comes to the door. I never have a business. I may not be the CEO of Meta or Facebook or Calendly or any of those things. Everybody fought their way somewhere. And I'm proud to say I fought my way here, but I'm not going to allow people to take it from me and say, this is what I deserve. I get to decide what I deserve, and I get to leave when respect is no longer on the table. Maybe that's being 45. Maybe it's I don't accept disrespect, period. And I leave, and I don't have to come. Matter of fact, don't even invite my Black booty. Don't invite me, because I'm not coming. I'm not trying to kiss your butt. I don't think you're really that popping. But just because you got fans and followers, we all do. And I know who I am and whose I am.
Ooh.
I don't want to be a part of your group. And you don't have to be a part of mine. Let's be very clear. And it's not nasty or disrespectful to say no. This can open up many doors. It could or it could not. But if it's not in alignment, it doesn't matter. So it has been honestly verbally articulating it, but also with my body language too, to say, if I said this is it, this is the end, my friend, I mean that.
Wow, that's powerful, Precious. Seriously, because so many people find it so hard to use that word no, especially a lot of.
Heck, it still be hard sometimes too. Sure, don't let me lie to you. I gotta do
it. Yeah, the having empathy and just setting proper boundaries and stuff is for ourselves and for others. Because some people, you give them a finger, they want to take your whole arm.
Definitely.
So yeah, so setting those boundaries, I think that's so. And like you said, a lot of in yoga sutras, they said sometimes a lot of our suffering is because we don't know who we are. And you said, I know who I am. Take me all and everything. You don't have the right
for
to
all the years I didn't say that. For all the years I just kind of Father used to kind of with the flow. And I've also found, even in my business, that someone can pay a low dollar amount and give me more grief and problems than someone who paid a lot of money.
Come
And,
on.
and I'll often add, I always think, so you went with all these other coaches, but you will never say anything, but you're in my face. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to go down this road because you feel I'm smaller to you and your network, but I'm a queen in other networks. So I've been very careful on noticing certain things and just being like, what is that? What is that? I don't listen. If something didn't go right, we got to rectify that. Then we're gonna do that. But if the assumption is if you pay $19 for something, you're entitled to all of my time, is weird. It's a little weird because I know if you're gonna pay for Tony Robbins, you're not paying $19 and you're not gonna say anything. And trust me, whatever he's worth, he's worth. But I am too. But if you have a low thing, and you're giving me grief on something that maybe you didn't understand, I automatically know we can't go any further because you're already showing me something. And maybe you're mad at these other people and you're going to try to take it out on me. I'd rather not and say we did, which meant that is why I had to change the narrative and change my clientele too. So when you start, you can take anybody who comes to the door. Over time, you'll realize if you start to become successful, is you have to be very serious about the type of clients and customers that you take, because it could be a nightmare in the end.
You're so right for that, because we all have experienced it, and that you have agency to hire and fire your own clients at the end of the day, because they will try it and push boundaries. So definitely, I'm establishing that. And Precious, when you were little, did you always have a big idea of this persona of who you were going to become?
Yep.
Did you
I did.
Okay.
I knew I was going to host television shows. I knew I had billboards in Times Square. I knew I'd write the great American novel. I knew I would be big time. It's just too bad looking around me. It was looking like, no, but that was placed in me that I was going to be huge. I didn't know it would come through speaking, but speaking unlocked a lot of doors. It gave me a name when nothing else did. Because it wasn't going to be having an Instagram body. It wasn't going to be that, especially at 45. Come on now. It wasn't going to be from all the things you think it would be from entertainment and stuff like that. But I knew that I was going to be big time. And as Joe Osteen says, in the naturals, looking like, ain't no way. You here, you're going to die here. And I was just like, man, I refuse. So when I left home when I was 18 to go to Spelman, I didn't want to go back to St. Louis until I had made it in my mind, that I had made it. Because coming before that, I just didn't think it would make sense. And sometimes you got to leave hometowns to go do it. And here's another thing I think is funny. In all my speaking engagements, training, and whatever, most of it's not in New York City. So even though I live here, you see me flew out like Instagram thotty to go train and teach. And I love it.
And you do fly all over. You global.
Got me flew out.
Global. You are global. Flew out. So the another question is, when did you feel through your journey you found your true, authentic voice? And was there resistance before getting there?
Yeah, part of the resistance will always be me, fear, worry, and doubt, right? So as much as incredible things I've done, I did it afraid, did it scared. But I think it takes when I think back to how many blinders I had to have on to become the killer pitch master. What did I have to tell myself to walk into a place with negative $400 in my bank account to pitch? What did it take to win those national competitions? What did it take to come to New York City and become an attorney? What did it take, still first generation, what did it take to walk down the streets of Harlem and be homeless and hold my head down? I hope nobody sees me. What did it take when people started to expose the darkest parts of me And how dare I can I show my face? I show my face proudly today. I do. I done made a lot of mistakes, and I am truly sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't trust people enough to tell them what was going on with me. I'm sorry I was an alcoholic. I'm sorry that the grief was so overwhelming. I'm not making excuses. I'm just giving you the true tea. I'm sorry that I wasn't the strong Black woman. I'm human, and I made a lot of mistakes. Restarted my company after walking out of homelessness September 1st, 2018, and starting over in 2019, leaving a well-paying job at Worthy. My job was as at Worthy as a senior sales consultant, and I left a place called Worthy to restart Perfect Pitches by Precious. How dare I think I could when the money wasn't coming in? I mean, Pastor James Leonard and his wife, for them to still believe in me, go 5 months without rent. Well, I got my life and got myself together. And then when things started happening, I started getting paid. I started seeing all these amazing things happen. Well, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Have I had times where I've been in between contracts? Yes. And I'm scared for my life, right? And then you build a team. I don't know how to build a team because I've never managed anybody. Even if there is a manual on it to do it in real time. Like people say hire fast, hire slow, fire fast, and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really make sense if you've never done it, right? So trusting myself and going to my network and being honest and being vulnerable. Like I was scared to be vulnerable and say, I don't know nothing. Give me a mic and a light. I can light a stage up. Give me a video. I can light it up. Tell me how to do accounting or do all of these metrics. That's not my skill set. Can I run a business? Yes, I've been in a lot of great programs, but I still know what my skill set is. And that's why you bring in other people. Well, if you bring in the wrong people. In fact, I was just in New Orleans launching Pitch Bold, Profit Gold. Ciao.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Because I know a lot of us, especially women of a certain age, I cannot be just limited to my business success and achievements and accomplishments. I got me into trouble a long time ago, and I really didn't think my life mattered past my achievements and accomplishments. That no one would love me to know no pressures beyond business. And so I sat and thought about it, like my stuff didn't arrive. Like all the things that you think can go wrong did. And I had to say, do it afraid. And so before I walked into that launch, I was there for Rich Mama's Club. They were having their summit. And I sat and listened to these women pour out their hearts. And internally, I'm scared because nothing it's supposed to be, I don't have anything. And God kept saying, stripped. So I went upstairs and changed, put on a wig, brought my stuff downstairs, feeling very haphazard, feeling very nervous, very afraid. And then when we started, I kept hearing strip it all. And so, I walk out to Nicki Minaj's Moment for Life. And as we're all getting hyped, I sit down on the stool and I said, can we be honest with each other? Can we talk? Can we get some of that true tea? Through the wig, I said, let's get stripped. Because you got to use everything in your arsenal. You can do it afraid. And I just went ham and cheese and talking about business versus personal, some things I've gone through, some things I've never really talked about. And I said, but I needed love, guidance, and support. And because I was so used to operating in business, I didn't know how to have a conversation about love, life, relationships that I hated myself. Even though I was doing all these amazing things, I didn't like the woman looking at me in the mirror. I didn't like the way my body looked. I thought I was too tired and through, yet I kept pressing on and pressing on. I started a company to celebrate the beauty of curvy women every day, and I'm still ashamed to be 327 pounds. I look back like, you still did that. I look at and so sharing that and wanting other women to feel like too many of us are posturing and we will never get the love and support of people because we still are trying to operate from perfection mode or no one can know. I said that almost took my life on my 38th birthday. Now I got love and support. I got a trusted network. If I say, man, I'm tripping, I slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up, they gonna put on my big girl panties, snatch some edges off of me, and they're gonna give me that love. They're gonna be tough love. They're gonna give me love, support. They're gonna be like, thank you for telling the truth, because too many of us are out there, influencers or whatever, and we only want to give the flex story. And I'm like, dude, what happens when the flexing ain't flexing? What happens when contracts don't get signed? What happens when you've done everything that these coaches have told you to do and it's not working? What happens when a pandemic happens, economic downturn, social avocados being $10, and you like, man, I like some avocados, but I guess I'm not gonna have that. What happens? Is every business as successful as people are making it out to be? Do I have to resort to scamming because this ain't working? And so to introduce Pitch Bold Profit Gold, to marry the personal and the professional, because they both matter. It's time to really put yourself out there in your personal life. Are you dating? Are you seeing anyone? What's your relationship with your family? And many of us we have families. Does your family know you love them and care? Do they know the real you, or do they know social media you?
That part.
So when I say y'all can check out my face, it's my face. This is my face. Don't let me get in my zone. Don't let me get in my zone. Them other chicks is lying, acting like the something ain't mine. I got that hot boy on my own. You know how many hot boys I own? You know, just ridiculous with it, right? And to be able to have that come out of me when for years I felt like I was stifled. So introducing that, the Pitch Bold Profit Go community and membership, and having women sign up and talking about it. I was doing it afraid, but I was doing it. I was on a flight. When I got off the flight, people were still signing up. And I was just like, nothing was perfect. And yes, it was. Timing is everything. I went down there to launch. But what happened was unexpected divine blessings for being in the space. Going to Essence Fest, and I didn't go to any of the concerts or anything, because you have to know who you are. And so sometimes my first time there, I have to go to smaller things or exclusive things first to feel acclimated to huge things. And so going to that Women in Harmony brunch with National Urban League, going into the South Carolina Lounge, coming back with all this Danessa Myrick and beautiful stuff. Like, I'm just looking at some stuff that I was like, these ain't samples, baby. We talking about full grade. We're not talking samples, girl. Don't let me get in my zone. Don't let me get in my zone. And just being like in the LYS, all these sort of things. Like, I was getting full bottles, but also because of the events that I was at. So it was never samples for me. It was, who's putting you in these rooms? They're not putting you in a room because, they just want to hear you pitch. They're putting you in a room because there's certain people you need to be around. But if they never see you because all these big public events, what room should you be in? So that's what I mean. Pitch bold, profit gold. You want to pitch bold in every aspect of your life and profit gold in every aspect. One of my first date in 3 years, I was like, yeah,
come on.
There. Like, speaking of my family members and love, like Jack Harlow, I'm loving on me. And it doesn't have to look like what it looks like for you to love on you. Yeah, I like my nails and toes done. Yes, I like my chin waxed and some eyebrows and everything too. However, if none of that happens, I'm still going to be certified. I'm still that same old P. Even though I got my own CD.
Hey.
Maybe even on TV.
Let's go.
There ain't no change in me.
Let's go.
I can only be PPP. I'm still that same OP.
Woo. Yes.
Going back to St. Louis, my cousin was murdered. And I just kept thinking about, he was a stand-up man to the end. And I'm in St. Louis for, Verizon is my newest client. And I'm looking around and things have changed. And some things were still the same. And I'm 45, so I could tell the difference. And I saw a couple of my classmates from high school. Went past my old stomping grounds. And the 45-year-old Precious and the 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old Precious were in the same space with different vantage points. You got to plot twist and flip the script, because I refuse to let people address me as who they used to know when she's not here. But when I say same OP, meaning I'm loving and I'm kind, but I am my birth mother's child. And I told her, I said, listen, that temper you got, girl, I'm like you in certain ways. The gift of time is I've tempered it. and I give people the benefit of the doubt until you don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. And in business, I want people to know if you throw something my way, I'm gonna catch it and run with it.
Wow, that was beautiful. And speaking of that, and how you allow people, like, you have the control of your narrative of who you are when
Oh,
you
very much so.
show up in the world. So the question I want to ask is, if I ask you, who is Precious L. Williams right now in this moment in your journey, who is she?
Who is precious in this journey? To take a line from Brett the Hitman High, I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best I'll ever be when it comes to pitching. I am bold and I am fierce.
Hmm.
I'm strong and I am beautiful. I am a full figure diva and a plus size fashionista. I'm a bad bitch with a power pitch. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Your hate for me stops nothing. Big things popping, little things stopping. And if it took me a lot longer, maybe I didn't think and my way to the top. I'm human and I cry. I am the killer pitch master. I am the atmosphere shifter. I am the creative outsider. I'm the ultimate rainmaker. Although I aspire to be better than Johnny Cochran in the courtroom, I am Precious LaTanya Williams. Nobody does it better than me. If you count somebody's success in terms of dollars and cents, none of us would be here. If you capture it in terms of impact and making people feel wanted and valued, call me going to the Bill Clinton School. I'm gonna make you feel wanted and loved because I spent too many years alone or thinking people didn't like me when truly I didn't like me, and so I projected it on other people. I love the woman that I am. I love Precious LaTanya Williams. I am Miss Beaumont, 1996, 1997. I am Beaumont High School's class of 1997 valedictorian. I am an award-winning businesswoman. I went from unknown to legendary. And I love the skin that I'm in. So catch these teas, come get me. I'm a whole snack, come fetch me. Cupcake.
Oh,
She's like,
oh,
what? We got musical references, we got rap, we got country up in here, we got some pop. Girl, I just be going in and out. It just be real in these streets.
but this is you. This is Precious. All the layers, and this is also for our viewers. No one gets to decide what pieces of you they want to pick or what narrative. You have control of the narrative, and thank you for sharing your truth and your courage to show up in this world and continue to be this light for yourself and for others,
Girl, you
and
already know.
and a question, if you could send or say something to the younger version of yourself, what would you tell her?
I feel like I would tell what Bevy Smith has said in her just amazing TED talk. It gets greater later. It really does. I would tell her one of my favorite quotes is fortune favors the bold. And you have to be bold to get out there and do some things that people have never seen someone like you do. And that no means next opportunity. Thank you, Ariana Grande. Thank you, next. All the no's that you will hear will prepare you for the yes that's coming. And when that yes comes, don't let me get in my zone. Don't let me get in my zone. I'm telling you, it'll have you feeling some type of way. And so, what I say to you, Queen, that little girl didn't know because no one could tell her because they had never done what I wanted to do and what I'm doing. And also there's beauty in there's beauty in our community. There's beauty in what our community has done. And that you got to remember that. You got to remember when you see certain hairstyles and fashion. I've seen some things today that I have seen multiple times, and I knew that I grew up in the hood. It doesn't mean I'm disrespectful of the hood. I'm not. I've seen some amazing, dope creatives out of the inner cities or barrios or trailer parks. I'm telling you, it's creativity there. So I don't despise where I came from. I really don't. I think part of that's the reason why I'm still standing is because what I learned on the main streets of St. Louis, I took all the way into business and into relationships. And I'm always peeping. When something is incongruent, yeah, I said the word incongruent, ain't quite right, ain't matching up, math ain't mapping, leave. And respect is no longer the mean, you leave. And you might have to do that when you get of age to be able to leave. I was given my parents for a reason, and I never could understand. And I'm not saying that you need to have horrific parents or a bad childhood. No, you need a hard luck story to make it. I don't believe that. However, you won't disrespect my story because it doesn't sound like the perfect story. I think I was given my parents because, like, God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. And it was hard, but I grew. And there were some parts of me that atrophied. But lucky I lived long enough for the soothing of it, for therapy, for psychiatry, for support network. I'm a friend of Bill. Been clean and sober off of alcohol 7.5 years past my suicide attempt. The fact that I have friends who will remind me or purchase something just to, hey, I just want to let you know I'm so proud of you for being clean and sober, that you can hang around people who drink, but if your food ain't right, you got to leave because you're like, man, I don't want to get caught up in alcohol, and loving me through my pain and loving me through when I'm scared, because I still get scared. I get scared before I get on any stage. Trust and believe, I get scared. I'm just going to do it though. Because I got some people I got to address. I got some people who ain't never heard certain things. And I think that if I sounded like all these other speakers that may have went through a particular program, you wouldn't have Precious. And as people say, well, what if you went through that? I said, then I sound just like y'all. That is not my thing, is to sound like everybody else. I didn't get here. I didn't become the killer pitch master to sound like y'all. I became a killer pitch master to show that there are other ways to skin a cat. Not that you need to skin a cat, but there are other ways to make it. And because I was forced to have to take alternative routes, we're going to rock it till the wheels fall off.
Precious, 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 precious.
I'm sorry, girl. I be acting up.
No, I love it. And you just bring joy and just so much. Even people, just by giving your presence, the hugs, the smiles, you were changing people's lives. And this bold, this pitch, this launch that you did is definitely changing women's lives. And it's going to even be bigger and bigger. It's happening right now at this moment. And for you to be at Essence, to do that, being scared and showing up, that's big. A lot of people can't. A lot of people, they're like, oh, it has to be perfect. And sometimes it stops us, that fear, from doing some big things.
It's like, oh, it has to be like this. I'm like, many of us started. I was at the Howard University, PNC Bank, Black Commerce. And this gentleman, I wish I remember what his name was, but he said, we were talking about ready, aim, fire. He said, ready, fire, aim. Because when you fire, it may find people you didn't even know existed. But if you go with ready, aim, fire, you might miss it, or your launch just goes to pieces. It's like, listen, everything doesn't have to be perfect. And let me say, done is the enemy of, done is better than perfect. At times it really is. because I could sit here and go into analysis paralysis. I can be talking to everybody and they're giving me all these opinions. And finally, I got to make a freaking decision. I'm the CEO. I am. Sink or swim. Let's get it. What I make, I'm feeding families up in these streets. I feed my team. You know what I'm saying? We eat, we feed the streets, feed the business, feed all. I'm feeding. So regardless of whatever happens, I'm going to go out swinging. I ain't letting, you ain't going to take this from me. No. Not a pandemic, not an economic downturn, not a social unrest. Baby, I'm going to find a way to make one. Clark Atlanta.
For real. Come on. I'm going to make a dollar.
And I'm a Spelman grad. So you know we have a century of service to women who changed the world. Don't ever play me.
Exactly.
But we are the light. We are the ones who will go out there and change the world. But you still need to find a way to make one. And her way doesn't have to be my way. His way doesn't have to be my way. And I can't give credit to people who, I respect people who made it and rose, but their story is not my story. And me trying to mold myself to fit their story, they might have had a unique way of doing it. I feel like the things that I do are rare because I've won championships, but I can also teach and train in it. And my clients are successful. That's why I have some of the biggest companies in the world as clients. And I will always say, black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift, no six pack abs. And I'm on stage to be like, obviously, I know y'all can see it. Y'all be like, yeah, she definitely ain't got it, but this is how it was in movies and documentaries. This is why I was flued out around the world, because I do what I do so exceptionally well. I don't take anything for granted. And I also want to give a shout out to those who trusted in me when they were at rock bottom. So let's get this. Let's get this word. Pitch, bold, profit, go. Pitch, please.
Come on, let's get it. And that brings me to today's quote. It says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about dancing in the rain.
I mean, why not? Listen, it's always darkest before dawn. And in many ways, that's why having a great support network around you. A lot of people are struggling and suffering right now. And I can say that, there are times I'm mentally suffering. You can be financially suffering because things cost a whole lot more than you thought they did, or things have happened that you just didn't even expect. What keeps me going and not wanting to take my life or anything like that is I was given a second chance. And in that second chance, I have to remind myself daily, I'm still here. I'm still here. How many people did not make it when I was in high school, college, law school? I'm still here, which means there's a purpose on my life. And maybe I have to go through these dramas and stresses because I actually reap the benefits, baby. I mean, if you hear noise, what are you hearing? You're going to hear that washer and dryer in the crib with my Tide from the way back. And so what are the blessings? Like, I dreamed big and I did it. I did it with no money in my pockets. I did it with some money in my pockets. I did it with a lot of money in my pockets. At all times, I still had to do it because business is not guaranteed. Business can be personal and impersonal at the same time. And that if you see a business that's 100-year-old, think about what they've seen in that lifetime. And then think about what you've gone through in the last 4 years. I feel like we had what most companies have gone through in 100 years in 4. Mom and pop business is gone. Large companies are gone. They're laying off people. But I cannot sit and let that be my story or infect my mind with all the negativity. The best thing that I can do is turn off social media and be about my Father's work.
Amen to that. Woo, amen to that.
I see him look at social media. I'm like, oh man, I'm never gonna have it, man. I'm not young enough. I'm not this. I don't have this and that, baby. I got great people in my network. I got great people I can call on at any part of the day. And the only reason is because I became vulnerable and I shared what I was going through, which also makes it clear that when I'm training at these companies, their stories they don't need to hear because it's not for them. If it ain't got to do with sales, I'm not talking about some other stuff because it's irrelevant. So your support network can hear the hard things, or people who are in some parts of your business that can hear certain things, and then others remember your assignment. If I'm here to train your sales teams, there are things I have to focus on, stories that work with that versus word vomit for everybody. It's just not good. It's not good. I've been doing this almost 30 years, and I've seen the change in myself from people writing my speeches to me being able to write or just have thoughts and then just get on the stage and let them flow. And knowing exactly as I'm about my father's work, he's telling me, oh, drop that up in here. All right. I knew it.
So, Precious, what is your top three key points that you would like to for the viewers to know, like some kind of advice in their spiritual journey or just journey in general, or just in pitch, anything that you think that they should take away with them today?
Okay. First, and I'll get into pitching, but my first thing is God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. I was called to be a speaker and a trainer at 16 years old, and I did not realize that. I thought speakers and trainers looked a certain way, came from certain places. But I was called. And from the very first time I took a stage before the mayor of the city of St. Louis, I slayed. Before the governor of Missouri, I slayed twice. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Number two, because I am the killer pitch master, ultimate rainmaker, I want you all to know this about pitching. Your pitches should answer the question, why should they choose you, hire you, book you, refer you over anyone else? Why are you the only choice that matters? So while you may think it's about your name of your company and all of that kind of stuff, what is their challenge or problem in their language, and speak to that in their language. How you talk to companies is very different from how you speak to individuals for your product or service base or hybrid company. Before you offer all these amazing solutions, what is the freaking problem in their language? And address their problem before you offer a solution. And the solution has to honestly make sense with the problem. The only reason I'm bringing this up, y'all, is because sometimes we'll say we want high net worth individuals, or we want all of these. It's like, maybe your lower hanging fruit is in a different industry that'll allow you to test and get better and better. So my test was on women entrepreneurs, teaching how to grow and scale their companies through winning pitch competitions, right? And then I saw, because I'm gifted in 6 forms of pitching, how do I get into colleges, universities, Ivy League institutions? And then from there, how do I get into some of the biggest tech and financial services companies? But it didn't all happen in one fell swoop. I had to speak to where women were. I had to speak to the problems career services was having, whether Ivy League or PWI, top HBCUs. And then how was I going to use that to get into the biggest companies without sounding like I'm a sales coach? No, I'm a top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer. But don't take my word for it. My people are going to walk me through this door, and I'm going to stand and deliver, right? So, and the last thing I'll say about that, we need to understand how to be rainmakers in our business, to go from worker bee, because that's the mentality a lot of us have because we work for people, to being the king and the queen bee. So that requires packaging, positioning, and then pitching. And I do teach on Rainmaking 101 from day one. In fact, that's the title of my 5th #1 best-selling book, is Rainmaking 101 from day one, packaging, positioning, and pitching secrets exposed. Finally, the third thing I want to leave you all with, don't be afraid to plot, twist, and flip the script. You might have been doing something for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and it doesn't quite fit you anymore. Figure out what does light you up. And it doesn't, you don't, like God didn't need a co-signer for you to be born. You don't need a co-signer from everyone else. You can ask questions and seek their advice, but there's something in you that people can't, they haven't quite seen. So they can't really tell you if it's going to work or not. I remember certain curvy girls, people said, keep your day job. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I went out and did it because I was going to do the hard work. I did the primary to secondary research, wrote that business plan, raised $750,000 without all the accoutrement you're supposed to have. But I worked for it. It wasn't some easy road. And so when I tell you, I didn't got beat up in this game. And so it's important that I've written books. It's important that I've been on TV, from Shark Tank to CNN, Wall Street Journal, all of that. But what's also important is I'm still in this game. So if you're talking about somebody in the trenches and all the way to the ivory tower, I've done it. And that's why you all can visit www.perfectpitchgroup.com. I'm the proud founder and CEO. Check out some of our free resources. Check out some of the amazing things that we're doing. Check out the events that we have. And finally, if you want more information on Pitch Bold, Profit Gold, our new community where we want you to succeed in all aspects, your personal life, your professional life, coming together in our community. Our first month has a discounted rate just so you can test the waters and see if we're worth it. And keep coming back. It does get better. And I am Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group, proud founder and CEO. Pitch Bold, what? Profit Gold.
Yes. Thank you so much, Precious. And you see the website right there.
I see it, Queen.
Below. So make sure you follow classes, books, purchase them, and
You already know. Yes.
support everything that she's doing. And you know what? Check us again for the next episode of Self-Discovery. I want to say it's an honor and a pleasure to have you live with us today, Precious. You are thebomb.com. You already know what it is.
I know what it is, and so are you, Queen.
And also to our listeners, remember, life may throw you a curveball, but you're always in control of the direction it goes. So God bless you all.
I heard her.
And check back next time for Self-Discovery. Bless.